Let me just go through a very simple exercise. Now, I know some of you in this room today have seen me present this previously, but for those who haven't seen it, let's just quickly go through this. What I've got up here on stage here in front of you are two boxes, right? Boxes A and B. You cannot see inside the boxes, can't see inside. But I can tell you that box A on the left has 4 marbles in it. 3 of them are that green colour and 1 of them is red. Box B, only 1 marble, it's bright green. You now have the opportunity to put your hand in one box and one box only and pull out 1 marble. If you pull out the green marble from box A, I'll give you $1,000, but if you pull out the red, I won't give you anything. Or if you pull out the bright green marble from box B, I'll just give you $750. Get your arms ready. Who'd like to put their hands in box A? Come on, please. Some. Who'd like to put their hand in box B? Anyone? Let's put all the marbles back in. Situation has changed slightly. The situation has changed in that you now may be giving me money. Because if you put your hand in box A and pull out the green marble, you have to give me $1,000. But if you, by some stroke of luck, pull out the red marble, you can get away scot-free. You don't have to pay me anything. Or just put your hand in box B, pull out the green marble. In fact, don't even pull it out. We know it's the only marble coming out. Just hand over $750. Who'd like to put their hand in box A in this particular case? Anyone? Box B. And of course, I have to ask, who would like to keep their hands firmly in their pockets for this particular, of course. Okay. In the first situation, we face the possibility of making money. I'll just explain this further in a moment. And most of us here said, look, just give me that box B. I like the look of that. Not too interested in box A, just give me box B. But I would argue, and I'll explain this in just a moment, that I think we need to be thinking the opposite. And in the second example, you face the possibility of giving me money, and even though it's generally, I've done this many, many times, it's a little bit more even. The first one's normally clear-cut, box B. It's still normally a bit more even, but still leaning towards box A in this case. But I would argue we need to be doing the opposite. Now, let me explain this for just a moment. By the way, I have actually done this exact same exercise many, many times. I've done it in small groups of 15, 20. I've done it at the Australian Securities Exchange Investor Hour, where you've got maybe a couple of hundred people. I've done it at various expos around Australia, and even more recently throughout Southeast Asia. So different countries, different cultures, different markets, but the reactions are always the same. Always the same. Now, what I believe is that in the first case, there was the positive outcome opportunity. There was the possibility of making money. So in other words, we had entered a trade, the trade had moved in our favour, we now have the potential of making money. We had 2 choices. The 2 choices could be described as a risk and a certainty. The certainty was just give me the green marble and I'll hand over the $750. The risk was box A because you could have pulled out the red and you wouldn't have got anything. Most people select box B. They go for the certainty, therefore they adopt a risk averse. They move away from the risk and move towards the certainty when faced with a positive outcome. Now, I believe one of the most important trading rules there is to let your profits run. In other words, we've entered a trade, it's moved in our favour. What do we do now? It's very natural to say, there's some profit, I'm going to take it. But the rule says, let your profits run. Give your profit every opportunity to keep going higher. It's a very natural tendency when we're in a position of profit to become risk averse and think, oh, I don't want to lose it. I better sell and grab that profit before someone just runs up behind me and takes it off me. So I think we have a tendency to just go straight for the certainty. And I believe it's that natural tendency of we often sacrifice long-term goals and we sacrifice them for our shorter-term pleasures. It's a very natural human tendency, right? We sacrifice our longer-term goals for our shorter-term pleasures. And I think we do that in this particular case. Our longer-term goal is to make the money and we want to let our profits run, but the shorter-term pleasure is, you know what, I've just had 2 losing trades in a row. I really need a profit. I know it hasn't gone that far, but I could sell it right now and I've made a profit that is going to make me feel good. But your plan says, stay in it, but we have a real tendency to perhaps, no, I'm going to take it. Right? I really want I want to take it now. In the second situation, it is a little bit more even, but you face the possibility of losing money. And again, I had the risk and the certainty, and not many people go for the certainty. They say, why just hand over the money when there is still the possibility of grabbing the red marble? Let's take that to trading. We entered the trade, we're now at a loss. We're at our stop loss level, two choices. Cut the loss, move on, or let's just hang on and see what happens. It's a very natural tendency to, let's just hang on and see what happens. So when we're faced with that losing trade or the possibility of loss, we tend to seek risk and hold on to the trade, not remove ourselves from the risk. Pardon me. So again, it's just a very natural thing to do. And I think the problem we have when we're at a loss and we know we should be getting out, by cutting that loss, again, we are completely eliminating the possibility of breaking even in that trade, and we don't want to do that. Why just hand over the green marble and hand over the money when I can actually still, the possibility to break even is still there. That red marble, that's mine, and I'm going to take the risk and go for it. Now, I do make a concession with this exercise, and I know I've shown this to people before, and in fact, there's a person in the audience who has challenged me, and I'm perfectly happy with that on this particular case. So I'll disclose that concession now, I guess. The concession is that, pardon me, the concession is that if you do the probability, 3 and 4 is 750 out of 1,000 versus the 750, why wouldn't you go for the certainty every single time? And remember, that's what most people select. I guess my argument to that is if you have time to think about it and really go through the numbers and work out the probability and everything, you could probably put forward a case for, look, you'd be silly not to get the 750 every time. But I think instinctively, we actually don't go through that process and work out the probability. Instinctively, we say, why take the risk when I can just get money? That's what I believe we instinctively do. And often, not that it's right, because we should be following our plan. Often when we are making our trading decisions, we base those decisions on our emotions and our instincts. So that's why I believe we're very quick to sell profits. We're very quick to take that profit and realise that we're in actual fact a trading plan to stay in this trade because this could be something special. Right? So that's, I guess, why I present it as an exercise or as an example to you.